Far out, dudes. This game was tough sledding that the doggies and the Tigers there. But firstly, wanted to show a bit of a sadness for my boy, Ryan Paps. Another injury. Looks like a fracture just above his where he got his surgery done and where the plates are and the like. So not good on that front. My boy Pap and Chestnut, Tommy Chestnut, are both out at the moment, which is sad. My top two faves. And just wanted to pay my little bit of love to them on that one for sure. And just the sadness that he'd be going, like, he seemed strong in his little posts on Insta and stuff, but must be so tough. You finally get back, you'd put all the work into then just get injured again. It happens for a lot of these players, obviously. And I think NRL Physio popped up a 17 of all the the top players that have had sort of a month plus long injuries or currently are about to come back, including guys like Frizzell. And it is absolutely stacked, and it'd basically be an Origin team. So, yeah, that's the state of the league right now, and obviously that's affecting our fantasy and Supercoach teams greatly. And, it's just something that we really can't do much about, and we just got to keep burning trades, right, for the most part. But again, I speak about every Sunday, just the trying to just save trades for guys that are going to be losing a lot of cash and kind of are out of the sides in terms of minutes and things like that, or they're injured or suspended, and that's it. Otherwise, it's just we're just going to run out of trades, and we might have to hold guys that are performing just okay, not losing or gaining too much. But yeah, that's probably where it's going to have to be. But we'll get into that after the final two games today, and I hope you guys are placed pretty well after these three yesterday. It was a very weird game, and this one here, the Dogs and the Tigers, it was a tough watch, to be honest. Obviously, a lot of people everywhere, basically on socials, are talking about the reffing in this one and just how many penalties were blown, and it was just a non-stop penalty fest and errors and the like. There, you're obviously seeing a couple of sin bins, which most of them were pretty fair, to be honest with you. There was a few in that one with Seyfarth and David Clemmer. So they Tigers at one point were missing two. There was 7 or 8 captain's challenges, all correct. So yeah, just the mistakes unfortunately just kept this game stop start. And thank goodness there was still a few players that managed to score decently, but there were a few others that weren't able to, obviously, as well. And if you were someone like myself with a bunch of players in this game, it was I think a lot of people did anyway. I didn't have to play Salmon or Hughes, but I know a lot of people did. And Hughes, he scored pretty well. Salmon, not so much, but I had Carraz, Bateman's people. I did bring in Bateman this week, Josh Curran, Fainu, these types of players, all played a part in this game that were fairly highly owned, that's for sure. And Vil Kickout there was a 62 as a big winner in this one, which is surprising because it's close to pretty much his highest score of the season, I believe, in a game where he didn't actually get any line break assists, line breaks, and tries or anything, and still managed 4 turnover tackles with 7 tackle breaks and a couple offloads there as well. So yeah, well done to Vil on that one. Johnny Bateman, so 48 tackles for him, worked out well on that front with only 2 misses, and he was talking to the ref a fair bit in this game. 1 tackle break, a couple offloads, 2 to ground, 1 to hand there. He tried his best and still got 57, so happy days on that. That's well above where we've bought him at, so yeah, it ended up being a good trade-in. 6 less than that of Garrick, obviously a bit more cash spent, but overall completely fine. That decision on Bateman, so well done on anyone who jumped on him. With Abby Coruscant being out for this one, Simpkin came in, and we do see him do pretty well for the most part here. And of course that he plays 65 minutes and scores way more than what Appy's been doing in recent history. So it shows you that completely different players. And you look at stats straight out and you can go, Simpkin had a great game here. He obviously got a turnover tackle. He did well on that front. Didn't run the footy much, but got a lovely try assist and 47 tackles for 1 miss. You're like, oh, this guy must be a regular first grader. And it just shows the guys can come in and back up and just do their clear role. And then Appy's sitting there with 8 missed tackles and whatever else. And people are like, yep, he's Origin worthy. So it just shows the stats. The stats don't show everything because Appy's a gun. But anyway, moving along he should be back next week. Matty Burton, 55 for him in this one with a line break try assist. He went through untouched as well, so that was pretty terrible defense on that part. But negatives were only the 1 missed tackle, so that's good for Burts. And I suppose he's another option to look at potentially in the halves, sitting there ready for round 13, obviously. But it's Hines and it's Burton, I think, is probably next cab off the rank for the Origin selection. Very high chance he's 18th man too, so that might affect things also. because 18th man usually can't play first grade in the round 13 fixture, round 16, 19 as well. Top 18, obviously 17 aren't, definitely, and then 18, obviously they might end up playing a full game. We don't know. It could be an issue, foul play in the first minute. So that's why they don't allow them to play for their respective teams. But the guys in the extended squad, so 19, 20, 21, 22, those guys, they'll be free to play in Origin. So it'll be interesting to see how that one works out with Burton. But someone to keep in mind, and maybe look in round 13 if he doesn't get that spot. Stefano with a 53. So a much improved game from him. 8 tackle breaks, a couple offloads as well, was really nice on for him there. Just the -3 overall. So yeah, much better. After his 240 odd games, it was well needed for Stefano there and his owners. Buller, 52. So much better game from him as well, up to a 39 average for the season. A few people mentioned during the week about him being some cover in the wing fullback position through the bye period. And yes, it could definitely work. But he doesn't play 13. So it just seems like a position where you'd probably go Garrick over him at a similar price point. They'll both go up a bit this week. And yeah, that's probably all I need to say on that. Is that he's going to be solid, but he hasn't lit the place on fire yet. He hasn't lit the world on fire this season or the league, but a much better game from him. A couple of line break assists, good run meters, 10 tackle breaks, good stuff. Still lacking on the tries front, but there you go. Reid Marnie with a try assist, 5 tackle breaks in this one. Sorry, 5 tackle breaks, 5 missed tackles. We had 62 run meters, 111 on the kicking side. So yeah, a little bit across the board there for him. 49 you'll take. He's obviously priced ahead of that. So yeah, not spectacular, but it's fine. If you bought him this week, he's going to be a good cover over the bye period, so I can see why you would do it. Hopefully, us buying Jaden Brayley in today's game will do better than what Reid does at 49. I'll take a 50 on the dot for Brayley. Would be delightful. Samuel Alafino, so this was expected, a much better game from him at 430k. He, with the lower score last week, he's not going to go up a tremendous amount in this one. You should probably expect him to be around the 440 odd, 450. After this 43, and that's still no attacking stats. So if he can get anywhere around the 40 mark on a regular basis without sin bins, then you should be able to see him get into the 50s with some attacking stats. Like 95 run meter, I think we can cop that on a regular basis. 36 tackles for 1 miss. If you can get that regularly, awesome. We'll get some offloads, we'll get some tackle breaks in a little bit more free-flowing game, I think. He's such a big hunk of a man. He should be able to get that for sure. All right, Joshy Curran. This one is a worry. So I was mentioning him last week as a potential buy going forward. He ended up being moved to the bench to start this game with Sam Hughes in the starting side. And he only played the 46 minutes through the middle. So that's frustrating. Obviously, getting a 41 is a good score, right? But that ended up with his first try of the season, which was a nice grubber through. Good work from him to get there. But 27 tackles for 3 misses isn't going to get the job done when you're only playing 46 minutes. Like, you've got to be getting attacking stats, which he did. But you need to be getting lots of attacking stats to offset some missed tackles if that's going to be the way that it plays out for Curran. So a little bit of a worry. I would avoid him as a buy this week and find out what's going to happen with him over the next few weeks. It doesn't seem like he's going to be the man that can average 50 this year. It's 46 so far, and I suspect it'll be something similar to that mark, just with the way things are going right now for him and the team. Preston came back and didn't even get on the park, did he? I can't remember seeing him on the park, just shaking hands at the end. So yeah, you got him to come back as well, which we'll speak about when we get to Salmon and the like there. Lockie Galvin, 39, had a line break in there, which was good. Just the 1 tackle break and 1 offload. 3 missed tackles, good run meters, which was nice. Finally missed a lot of tackle, like a bunch of tackles for him and his standpoint there with 3 misses on that front. So yeah, he's finally a real human again. Lockie Galvin getting 39. With 3 missed tackles in this one. So, yeah, still a really good game for someone that's near 500k. And, yeah, good chance he'll continue to score somewhere around the 40, 45 longer term. And, yeah, I definitely won't be selling him anytime soon. That is for sure. Especially in a fairly tough half position with, Jerome Hughes copping a calf knock as well. And, yeah, a lot in that Storm game, but we'll get there. Caesar 37. Kurt Mann only 41 minutes as well. So they're a little bit all overshot with their minutes there. Sam Hughes, 36 minutes for 37 points, so 6 tackle breaks was big for him. 24 tackles for 0 misses. Awesome work in that one. 2 penalties, obviously, and an error, so not perfect at all by any stretch, but yeah, was able to help them get the win. And he's an interesting one. I really hope that we can get him through to round 13, 14, because if if he can get the 36, 38, 40 minutes, he'll be able to get somewhere in the 30s, and that is hectic. Like, he goes up another chunk of cash this week, and I think if we can sit him anywhere between 400 to 460 and get him as a playing player in 13, 14, I think we can sell in 15 or even keep him for 16 and then move him on after that one. Because, yeah, like, not worried at all if he sits somewhere in the early 400s, or even if he gets to 440 and then drops back a bit, but get the odd good score in one of those buy rounds, that would be hectic. Jacob Kiraz, apparently he's got a little bit of a knock as well, a little bit of a knee pain, which is not great because it's something he was dealing with last year with, with that injury and the like. But yeah, hopefully he's okay after a rest and we don't lose him, because if I lose him, and yeah, I've got Pap out obviously as well, I've got to be bringing in a couple of wing fullbacks, and KO Weeks would be the play, but he's not playing next week. So yeah, that's a very interesting situation, that one is, that's for sure. But 36 for him. He's on 37 on the NRL app. I hope that updates, but I think that's because he's at 159 meters. So give him that one extra meter, will you, to get the 37. But 36 in this one with an offload, 7 tackle breaks, decent run meters. He almost had a try assist to Hutcho at the start there when he stepped back in, but ended up offloading it. Again, a 6-point turnaround, potentially more if Hutcho caught it and scored. Threw it into Galvin, who was all over it. So yeah, tough one on that. That could have been a mid 40s just from that alone, even to a high 40s just from that one play. But a 6-point turnaround on the offload to error gives him 42. And then that try assist, line break assist would have been, up to 49, which would have been, just a much different situation. But still, 36. Hopefully, again, the injury's fine. We'll take the 36 and move on. We just need him to be okay. Maxi King, a low one for him at 35. Strange game, as I said on that one. Bronson Sherry with 32. Fairly low for him. I don't think we buy him or look at him in fantasy, but he's going to improve week to week for sure. Just an awkward price at 480 there. Hutcho, if anyone's still owning him, 27. 7 missed tackles, man. Sort it out. He didn't used to miss many tackles, and now he does. Speaking of missed tackles, Jamin Salmon, that's what cooked him in this game. He'd been fairly good with missed tackles on that edge. 2 to 3 a game. And this one he went 6, which, got him to a 25. He played the full 80 as well. As I said, Preston, I don't even believe he got on at all, did he? No, didn't even get on, which is crazy to actually have him on the bench and not use him. I don't know if they thought he wasn't okay, or who knows. But yeah, watch him walking around dapping people up after the game. Just a strange situation. Bailey Hayward, 42 minutes still. Taff, 24, along with Crichton, 24. So yeah, Karaz to outdo them. That's fine. As I said, we'll take that for Karaz. We'd want him for Isaiah Papali'i, 22 in 60 minutes. So keep an eye out on Isaiah. He hasn't gone down much yet, but that was a pretty rough game for him. And he seems to be getting taken off in recent games. Maybe he's carrying an issue, because Fainu's been playing the full 80 or 70 the week before with a sin bin. And Papali'i's gone off in both of them, with Bateman playing the full 80 there. So interesting situation on that front. Adokar was 17 for anyone who bought him a bunch of weeks ago. And Alamalo, that was a worry with him in this one, was that without those turnover tackles and try savers, he wasn't going to go massive there in his score. And Curtis Moore in the 31 minutes, so it looks like Hughes ahead of him, which is nice. Definitely needed on that front, and he'll probably make way. Likely he'll make way for Preston next week. Although, actually, no, they've got to put someone on the bench. So, yeah, strange situation with Presto not playing any minutes. I wonder if they'll put a utility on the bench like they had the previous week with Blake Taff being the utility. I wonder if what happens with Connor Tracy, to be fair, is probably the thought on that front. All right, let's go to the Supercoach side in that game. When it loads, we'll come back to that. Didn't load for us. All right, let's move to the next one. Titans and Storm. So, yeah, just a tough one overall with all the Storm players, to be fair. From a Titan side, it was pretty good. Like, you had Fafita that got 74 with 15 tackle breaks and 3 offloads. 27 tackles, no misses. 1 error, 1 penalty. So, yeah, not great in there, but, good run meters as well. So, he was awesome. Anyone who jumped on him this week, you get 4 good weeks before Origin. Love it. You needed a 60 odd from him, and he got 74, which was great. Brimson there with 61. He might be the wing fullback that people are looking for as well. So you've got Garrick, you got Brimson there as 2 great potential options. And Brimson a double last week, a single try this week with 2 line breaks and a try assist though, with 7 tackle breaks. And he's an absolute gun fullback. He needs to stay in that position. And man, they got so close to winning this game too. So congrats to the Storm for obviously getting this one, but Titans, they're getting better. Led by, obviously, Fafita, Four and Brimson there. It seems like a really good little trio. Like Sam Verrills was really good in this one as well. And then Jamin Jolliffe doing great stuff through the middle. Verrills a bit of an odd one from him. He's getting really cheap. And if he ends up getting a longer term minutes role, then that'll be great. But he did come on and play big minutes because of Tanner Boyd going off with his dislocated wrist. That sounds disgusting. I really don't want a dislocated wrist, and hopefully it's not. Hopefully it is just a dislocation, because if there's fracture and everything involved, it looks like it'll be a month's injury, like closer to 3 months rather than like the 2 months type of range for a dislocated wrist, apparently. So there you go. That's that. But Jamin Jolliffe, he did miss a couple of tackles early and things weren't working perfectly, but he did end up with a couple of turnover tackles. So good thing with him is that when you're on there for that long in the middle, 64 minutes again, you're going to get a little bit of luck somewhere, whether it's a tackle break or two with one run, whether it's a random offload, whether it's just, building up those tackles, even if you're missing a couple. In this case, it was more the turnover tackles, and it really helped. I think it was Aaron Clark that hit under the ball and he hit up top that got him one, and I can't remember the other one, but yeah, great score from JJ, and he's going to continue to make money, which is good. He was just the better pick than Plath, but that was a weird situation as well. So we'll get into that shortly. But yeah, JJ with 55 was awesome. Harry Grant, 52, just continues to miss tackles is the main issue here. Thankfully, he got 3 offloads, which saved him a little bit. Good kicking out of dummy half there for 4 points. And just 54 run meters, 39 tackles. Like, it's just not good enough there when you're only netting 31. There used to be some games where he'd get 50-odd tackles and miss like 3. So he's getting 48, 50 in net tackles, and that's just not happening these days. And unfortunately, he's losing a little bit of cash, and Robson's smashing him. So well done to Robson owners. Grant owners, we're not crying by any stretch, but we're not super happy with a 53 average for someone we paid with a buy as well. We've paid 58 for. So yeah, there you go. Someone asked me that as well when it was like, when I say price stat, that's the average that you need to score every single week to stay at that price, right? So you could be priced at a 30, just say when Crichton came into the game at 420 or whatever it was, or a bit more, whatever. Let's just say he's priced at 30, he's averaging 60, so he's averaging that, and he's priced at 30, and then each week he's then priced at 33, he's priced at 37, it goes up like that, right? And the break even, guys, if your break even is low, like Crichton was, let's just say 0 this week, that means that he has to score anything above 0. He's going to go up in price, right? He scored 97. He's going to go up tremendously from that. And then we'll still have a lower break even because he's not priced where he's averaging in that last 3 weeks. It's based on a rolling 3-week average there for that one. 5-week average for fantasy. 5? What did it change? I don't know. I might be lost between that and Supercoach. Supercoach is the 3-round. I believe fantasy's 5-round. Anyway, it's just based off that average from that point there as to how the break even goes. So if you go a massive score the week before and you're not priced at where you're averaging over the last 3 to 5 rounds, then it's going to have a lower break even. If you have a shocker and the average is down over the last 3, that's where the break even goes up. That's how the prices change on a week to week basis. Kieran 4 and 46. Anyone that bought him a few weeks ago and you're still holding, you'll take the 46. Sammy there with 45, good stuff for him with a couple of line breaks and a try. Munster with 42 with a try saver in there. 7 missed tackles was his big issue here that dropped him down and picked up that try as well. From the first starter there with Blory. Aaron Clark, 40 in his 42 minutes, good stuff there for anyone who's just holding him. It's decent enough scores. So these are thank God there was a few points here from Blory, but that tackle number is so low for 70 odd minutes, and he started really well. Obviously those 2 line break assist offloads, which then led to tries, but not directly off him. So he picks up the 6 points, a few running meters from that, but he set up 2 tries basically and gets 12 points for it. So it's not terrible. It's not the same as that what I was talking about with the old Walshy inside ball that gets him 2 points, or that beautiful last year when I was talking about like Tohu Harris just putting like AFB through holes or someone through a hole and then they pass it off to someone and he just gets the 2 points. Similar situation to that, and it's frustrating that he can play 73 minutes and have those 2 plays, not just 1, 2, and get 38. So a bit of a low one, but thankfully for me as an owner, I got him for a 56 or 48. So 52 average there into a 38. It's a bit lower, but hopefully that he can work up to that 80 minutes as well. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but thank goodness that he only stayed off for that 7 minutes. Came off with about 22 minutes to go. Yeah, and then that was that. So, yeah, we need to get those tackle numbers up back to where he was a couple of weeks ago, last week, the week before, and hopefully that is the case there, and he can get back up to that. But, yeah, they're still winning games, so I don't think they're going to change anything crazy there on that front. But it was just a weird game. A lot of my players, like we'll speak about the next one, Plath got moved around. Fuller just had a lot of errors from the Clifford bombs. Every time Clifford plays, he's just one of the best spirals in the game. Or the floaters, very, very hard to catch, and Fuller was on the back of that, and hopefully he can still stick in this team next week, because if Pap's out, Carraz is in a bit of strife as well, Stranger's out, and then if Fuller was to lose his spot next week, although it does seem like Tessie News out, and we'll have to find out some more info, but I can't have that's for sure. But yeah, Randall ended up playing the full 80, obviously, there in that one. 37, not good enough. Cletus, 36, anyone still kicking with him? Both for more, 35, just a pretty average game, to be fair. On that right-hand side, they're going left. They seem to cut Bo out very regularly. He's hitting good lines, but they just keep going out the back. Fair enough. Whatever you want to do with your outside backs on that front. Pap, 2 try assists and a try. Really, really good start to this game. Obviously, a couple of missed tackles there. And then he catches that injury. So very, very sad for him. Hopefully it's a swift recovery. Looks like he's 6 to 8 weeks, somewhere there. Hopefully no complications. And if that's the case, it's a clear sell, obviously. And after a good week last week, I think he'll hold steady on his price, and just an easy straight swap to Garrick, or if you wanted to go for Brimson or something like that, they're probably the two in the wing fullback position. Eli Katoa, 32, not great at all. Just seemed like, obviously that right-hand side, you're going to miss tackles against Fafita. Like, it's just naturally going to happen. And hopefully it's a bit of a bounce back as well. He didn't have Hughes in, obviously, great form given his calf injury. Apparently he wanted to go off, but everyone was just getting injured with Pap, and then Farlongo as well. All the outside backs, he just couldn't come off. He couldn't go off. So, yeah, that was that. Nick Meaney, 31 for him. There's a high chance that, obviously, if Pap and Farlongo are out, then Meaney will move back to the fullback position, I'd imagine, so in that one. So we'll see how that plays out with both their injuries. Suard sounded like it's something to do with his knee. He came off early because of it, and they don't know yet. It was a bit undiagnosed, and we'll find out over the next few days as well. But Hughes, 28, very, very alarming. Not sure if he'll be able to play next week. And they got Jonah Pezzett out as well. He did his ACL during the week. So their halves and fullback stocks are taking a big hit. They really need Xavier Coates to come back next week, that's for sure. So, yeah, Hughes, find out more information as well before selling, but hopefully it's only a week thing if he is an out, and you can cover that for next week. So I don't think you want to sell him. He's just got good coverage through those buys, and, yeah, how many trades do you want to use if you got Pap out as well? Joey Chan, 24, a lovely try saver at the end, which got him 10 points there, which was great, and didn't get to run the footy much, but tackled 13 for 1 miss, which was good. Sua, that was a hectic try, by the way. He's so electric to watch. Smith Shields, 22, along with Nelson. Nelson's going to keep getting cheaper, which I suppose how many minutes is he going to play long term? Is it going to be sitting around there? Potentially. And then Tanner Boyd after a bunch of good weeks. This is fantasy just bringing everyone back down to earth. That is for sure. All right, let's finish with the Cowboys and the Dolphins, and how good was the great Ruben Cotter, 82 in his 67 minutes in this one. For some reason I had a bit of when I woke up, I had a bit of a dream or something. I don't know. I'm obviously fantasy obsessed and think about it a lot. But I woke up and checked the score in my head, and Cotter had moved from 80 down to like a 58, and they'd given him all these negatives and stuff. That's the other thing with this. He went up too, actually, but everyone else basically went down. So I had Jolliffe at 59 down to 55. Blore was 40 down to 38. We had Fuller down 3 points in this one. Plath down 1. Everyone was kind of down across the few games in my team, which was a bit sad. But yeah. Anyway, Cotter, so happy with his efforts. 47 tackles for a miss with that try. That was heaps good work. Heaps good. That was very good work from Cotter to break through all those tackles, and pretty soft defense on that front, and he just wanted it more. 7 tackle breaks. So good for Cotter. Robson, 73 for him. He is playing spectacular footy. Obviously, 2 turnover tackles on top of the line break. a few offloads there. Like, this is what we want from Grant. It's not happening. And Robson wasn't doing this last year. 45 tackles for 0 misses. And he is staking his claim to be that New South Wales Origin hooker. And I think that he, at this stage, he's probably playing the best out of the hookers available. I think he's playing better than Appy. Had 2 good games to start, but he hasn't been good at all since. Obviously, that try would help last week, but I think Robson's been better in a team that, we lost 4 on the trot now, the Cowboys. So, yeah, still not playing great as a team, but he's definitely standing out and shining through. So good stuff, Robbo. He's just snuck ahead of Grant for average as well. Just didn't realize that. 52.9 to 53.7. So good stuff there. A few people asked me this week if Osako was potentially a buy, and I said, yeah, I think he's a great long-term buy. Short-term, I wasn't sure, but yeah, big game there. 70 for him. 3 tries, 4 goals, 3 line breaks. So very, very impressive. Not every day you're going to get a triple, but yeah, they were great down that right-hand side. Cody Nikorima deserves a shout-out. He was spectacular, and the left-hand side defence from the Cows without Murray Talangi is hurting them right now. We know Holmes can be hit and miss on the defensive side, but without his boy Murray, it's a tougher side. They're not scoring down there. They haven't scored down the left-hand side in the last few weeks. Bostock, he's had a couple of low ones, so there you go. That is that. What else we got? Sarko 70, yeah, good stuff. If you want to grab him, he's obviously underpriced now compared to where he started the year at, but he'll, it's a couple of good weeks in a row for him now. Speaking of good weeks, Jeremiah Nanai, another really good one with a double for him, a 63 in his average now. And he was fairly cheap as well. So, he's going to be clearly in Origin, so I don't think you can purchase him at the moment. But, yeah, it's a good situation for anyone who does own Jeremiah right now. Averillo, 58, try and 2 try assists. He's been doing good work, and I think with Tessie out, that will just mean that Herbie will come back and maybe on the left. Probably just slots back in on the left with Averillo. It's working out at the moment with Jermaine Osako, and that's what we expected in the preseason, but they went a different way about it and selected Tessie New. But there you go. I imagine Herbie comes onto that left centre spot, and that's probably the big saving grace for Trey Fuller over the next couple of weeks, is that they had that injury there in that one. Drinky, 57, had the 2 try assists there. I think there was one. Was there something called back at some point? Potentially. His try. That's right. His try got called back, but yeah, that would have been big as well. But good kick meters, good run meters again. Just, did he have no negative game? Wow, Drinky had a no negative game and the team lost. So, yeah, great fantasy score of 57. You'll take that. He's still the clear buy in the wing fullback position. He could be the other guy you do look at down in that spot as well with Pat being out. That covers 13 and 14. Dearden, a 57. That was a great score from him. He's been doing good things on a semi-regular basis. That's his thing. It's not consistent, but in this one, it was a good game as well. And for them to still lose, like, they're Fuller gifted them 2 tries with some errors, and they were still they still were able to win. Like, gifted 2 tries, still lost by a try. So Cowboys just not good enough defensively at all at this point, and they need to sort it out. Aiken, 48, another good score from him. Happy with that. He's getting closer to where he's scoring now, price-wise, so there you go. Jeremy Marshall-King, 46, anyone who grabbed him. Max Plath, they ended up giving him 6 missed tackles. That is wild. I didn't think it was that many at all, but obviously defending on the edge, and he did look gassed at certain points, so not sure what the situation was here, because they played Lemuelu through the middle. They had 3 edges in this game with Aiken, Felice Kafusi, and also Lem, and they decided to play Plath a lot of minutes on the edge. I think he moved back to the middle in the back half, and I do think that he's way better as a 60 to 65 minute middle, giving him an actual rest at some point rather than keeping him on and splitting him between the edge and the middle, because, like, against teams like the Cowboys, they spread it left to right to left, each way, obviously, and that just means so much movement for him in that position, whereas in the middle, it's a little bit easier to kind of, I think anyway, to because on the edge, he's still going to make a decent amount of tackles, which you saw here at 44, but the lateral movement that you have to have, whereas in the middle, what's coming a lot of the time. So, yeah, it might make a tiny bit more, a tiny few extra tackles, but yeah, on that, I just thought he's probably better in a few less minutes, but that was the situation with him, splitting between both positions, and 6 missed tackles. If he dropped that down to a 2 or a 3, which it has been in recent time, to go along with that 1 turnover tackle, then he's in the 50s, and that's fine. So anyone who bought him this week is still making money. It's still a good score, but not spectacular. Trey Fuller, I was hoping for a lot more in this game, and it ended up with 4 errors. Got an escape from in-goal, which was good. Still good run meters, but he was on 23 run meters at halftime, so it was a big second half. Very, very happy with how he defended. Picked up a try saver, a turnover tackle, and made 13 tackles for 1 miss. And got that turnover tackle on Ruben Cotter, close to the line, which was really good. So that's the saving grace, I think, for him, is that on the line, he was really, really strong. It was just that high ball. And a lot of people have fallen victim to the Jake Clifford, the Burton high balls, the the Cleary spiral bombs, the Adam Reynolds, these type of players there, they have that good boot. It's very surprising that Clifford hasn't managed more time in this league because of that solely. It's just a point of difference that he can offer, but obviously didn't help them in the end get to a win. And he was pretty solid overall. Yes, Clifford had a couple of pens and an error there, but didn't miss a tackle, made 20. He did some good things. So that was Clifford. But Fuller, I'm just very hopeful for him to get a couple more games. Still very happy with the 44. Obviously hope for more, as we always do. And it just wasn't his game at all. And then they had one, whoever it was, Katoa, just passed at his head, fanged at his head. He was never catching that. So just not a perfect game from him. Still, they dropped a couple of tackle breaks off him as well. He was at 6 at one point. So could have been better, but that's fine. 44, we'll take it. Just hope he gets more games. Speaking of a little bit lower, that's Isaiah Katoa. He had a try saver and a turnover tackle and still picked up a 37. 5 missed tackles for him, no try assists and the like, with Nikorima and Averillo getting those on their side. So that was that. It's still fine if you currently own him. Don't buy him, I don't think, right now. Probably wait till round 13 if you need to. You've also got Walker. You've got a few other guys that you can potentially look at with Brimson and the like. You got Val Holmes there with 35 in the 80 minutes, so pretty rough run for him. He had that line break early, in the first couple of minutes, and missed 5 tackles. As I said, that right-hand side attack for Dolphins was humming, and that wasn't helping Holmes at all. So 35 for him. Hold, not buying at this stage. Tom McKelly, so 35 in 22 minutes, and he's going to just get these stats, and that's a couple of weeks in a row, couple more including trials where he's been absolutely dominant, and PPM wise has been a 1.5. And at 266, someone asked me about him this week, and I thought it was decent, but he didn't play enough minutes, and that increased this week. And I think that he should be getting at least this, somewhere around the 20-25, and have that impact. And he continues to offload the footy and get turnover tackles and get tackle breaks. So good stuff for him. 11 makes for no misses as well. Might get him an extra spot on this side. But pretty crazy how quick he can score points, and some guys play a full 80 and don't even get close to it. Finefeuiaki, 70 minutes in this one, 34 points. So he was up near a 40 and then back down to a 34. It's just strange how the scoring ends up sometimes. He was at 40 with he still had 10 minutes to play. So a few missed tackles, obviously an error. Ran the footy well when they gave him the ball, but still only 46 run meters, and it's just silly the way that the Cowboys are playing at the moment. Defense and attack sometimes, for sure. Kyle Felt, good run meters from him. McIntyre picked up a try, good on him. Tessie knew the 46 minutes, as we said, that hurt the squad a little bit, having to make some changes on that. And then Felice Kafusi, just the 48 minutes from him. Obviously went off early and came back on eventually and played out the rest of the game. But Connolly Lemuelu, watch out for him losing some cash over the next bunch of weeks too. 28 for him in his 44 minutes, and just watch out what they do with Tessie News position in the team there. And then Hillam Lukey, 17 in his comeback game, 29 minutes. Hopefully he can get himself back into to a good rhythm, because him and Finefeuiaki are going to be very important over the bye period, especially that first one with Nanai going out to Origin. All right, that's it on the fantasy side, guys. That's the 3 games. We've got a 2 p.m. game, just under 3 hours now. Knights up against the Wars, and it's I'm on the Central Coast. The weather's looking a little bit better. We'll have to see how it's looking in Newcastle. But for Supercoach, it was a very, very tough day for my team, that is for sure. Thank goodness for the Curran try in that first one there with a 64. Matt Burton a 69. He might update a little. Updates aren't in for this game yet. But Max King still a 55, even though he went fairly low in a 35 in fantasy. Burton the 69 was good. Bronson Sherry with the try, 52. Reed Marnie with a try assist, 50. not super ideal. You had Karaz 45 there with Kickout 47. Again, it's just a very low scoring game here with the two highest scorers from both teams being a 69. Nice. Kickout, as I said, yeah, Karaz 45 there. Not great. Again, you probably expect a little bit of an update from some guys, but not enough to be really good scores. You had Sam Hughes with a 44. We take that as owners. He'll make some good cash off that. And Hutcho and Salmon are getting closer to sells for sure at 38 apiece. But yeah, they're not the worst at all. And then Preston didn't get on. On the other hand, there, Seyfarth with a -3, pretty gross on that front with his sin bin. For those that owned him and in Fantasy or Supercoach, you'd be very happy to remove him from the side, that's for sure. Latu 10, don't look to grab him. Galvin 41, picked up that line break, but not much else for him in this game with a couple of misses. So yeah, a little bit frustrating as having to play him this week with Brownie being out, but yeah, it is what it is. Bateman of 64 is just going to do his job, it looks like. You've got Isaiah Papali'i 22. It's a very frustrating score there with Jareem Bullard 69, but yeah, I don't think he's a clear option with Simkin doing his thing. This one was the shocker for me. The Titans up against the Storm. I had Beau Fermor, Eli Katoa, and Jerome Hughes. Beau Fermor 38, Eli 45, and Jerome Hughes 31. And that first play of the game in the first 5 minutes, Jerome Hughes went through. Whoever it was stood in the line and stopped. I can't remember who it was to make the cover tackle. So Hughes went through. Line break, passed it to Eli Katoa, try assist, and try taken back. So after that part of the game, it was all downhill from there. Obviously, Pappy getting injured. These guys struggling, obviously, in that front. Not good at all. So that's cooked my Supercoach score for the week. I will be losing ranks, I'd imagine. Staying in line at best, having Crichton and Terrell May. Having Garrick, but selling Turbo. We obviously traded Turbo to Fuller. So tough night. Tough night for Supercoach, that's for sure. Thank God he got some defensive stats that helped us out in fantasy, and like it's different. You get 2 points for anything over 8 meters, whereas like in fantasy, I think you ran for two or three runs for like 28, 30 meters, so he gets the 3 points for that, which is cool. But yeah, so that was the bad ones. Pappenhausen, thank goodness for him, picked up a couple of try assists and that try in that first half, so he was on for a big one. Brimson's an interesting one at the centre wing, guys. He's very expensive, obviously, at 617, but he was the play this week rather than going for a Karaz or something like that. Even Nick Meaney, so at that cheaper price. Brian To'o, Brimson was the guy. Phil Sami did well. Fafita, 73, he'll go up with the offloads, obviously. But yeah, that was him. That was it for Fafita. Jolliffe, solid score of well at 55 there. That's really it. Obviously, Tanner Boyd's a sell there on the Titan side. And then Blory got 64. Obviously, some offloads there that'll update a little bit more. Munster 58 for anyone who went hard on him. Grant 48. So again, just not massive scores across the board. Nick Meaney 42. Pretty gross here, guys. Not great viewing for anyone of owners of players in that game, unless it was Pap or Brimson. Fafita was, you want more from him in that one. For the Cows, Cotter with his try was massive. Drinkwater the 90. Nanai with the 89 was great. Robson 68, but Tom Dearden led the pack there with 102. For the Cows, I've got Holmes in my team of 53. Yeah, no try assist. Kicked a couple of goals, missed a couple as well. Not ideal. Missed that one to convert and go to extra time, which is exactly what I want in this game for the win as well. And my tips, just gross that he missed that one, and he tried to fade it. I don't know what the go was there. He always draws them or draws them a little bit or kicks them dead straight. And that one he decided to try and fade it. Kicked off the side of the boot. Not sure if it was a complete accident, but he did look like he swiped across it, trying to get a bit of a fade going on. So yeah, strange on that front. That's for sure. Jermaine Asako, the triple, obviously a 143, massive for him. He'll get back to his starting price very, very quickly if he can have a couple more games like that. That's for sure. Averillo and Nicarima, big scores for them. Aiken was solid. Plath 49, not ideal. As I said, it wasn't his best game. Trey Fuller traded him in for 33. That was a beauty. How good's that? So Supercoach is fun sometimes. You make those bets and it doesn't work out. But yeah, that's that. We'll leave it at that for the 3 games there for your Saturday evening. Hopefully you can get in watching this one. Hopefully you did anyway, because you're at the end of this video. You watched it before the games this afternoon. I wish you all the best of luck for those two. In fantasy, I've got 5 players remaining, and hopefully I can I can make a few ranks, hopefully. I'm sitting just inside the 3,000. Hopefully, I can get closer to the 2. And I wish you guys all the best of luck for the Nico Hines captainers across all formats. See you guys.